Hey guys, welcome to the review show. My name's Austin and welcome to my final video of 2024. The top 10 worst movies of 2024. I guarantee a lot of you guys were really looking forward to this video. I can't. There were a lot of great movies this year. And I did have a difficult time putting my list to get top 10 best movies list together of 2024. But my gosh, I had much more harder with this list. This list was a nightmare trying to put together. That's just because the movies on this list are just really bad. Before we get into my worst movies of 2024, just a reminder to everyone, this is not going to be a review of the films. You can find reviews on the channel. I'm just going to talk about them real quick, and next we're going to move on to the next one. But before we get into our top 10 worst movies of 2024, let's mention some honorable mentions. Venom: The Last Dance. What a fucking slog this movie was. I don't hate the first Venom. I actually kind of like it. Let There Be Carnage was just terrible, and this somehow does worse than that. This is just a lazy road trip adventure type of film with any form of fun, and it's in a storyline that just absolutely doesn't go anywhere and does nothing. And the villain in this movie is just hardly even there. Noah is not a threat at all, and yet they try to really make him as a threat. It's a fart. It's a fart in the wind, like Venom says. I believe that's a quote in the first Venom movie. I believe. The Crow. Never seen the original. Probably now, never ever, because this movie this movie sucks. An uninterested villain, uninteresting protagonist. You can't really get behind the guy because he doesn't really have morals. He's killing guys that have nothing to do with the murder of his love interest. This is just, I don't know what the fuck this movie was. Megalopolis. I feel like this should be higher, but the reason why it's not is because I still have respect kind of for the director, and to be fair, I would probably would watch this over the movies that I would mention next, because at least this movie would put me to sleep. Elevation. This is just a Quiet Place knockoff. That's kind of what it is, really, with less interesting creatures. Arcadian, a terrible Nicolas Cage movie. It's kind of sad because we just came off a great year with Nicolas Cage previously, and next year we'll have Nicolas Cage back as Spider-Man Noir. So this was just, he didn't need to be in this movie. You could have literally cast anyone as the dad, and you could have literally took out his character. His character would have not even made any difference with the movie, and none of them were really interesting. And the creatures were kind of just stupid. I did not like the design of the creatures. Now, with that being said, let's get into our top 10 worst movies of 2024. Oh boy.
Number 10.
At number 10, Winnie the Pooh and Blood Honey 2. I'll say this, the costume designs were better in this movie than the previous one. The difference is you can't see jack shit. like you couldn't even see any of the fucking kills in this movie. And you could tell that there's definitely more of a budget in this movie than the previous one. I can also say that characters are terribly written, but you know that going in for while watching this, so you're not really going to see interesting characters or have interesting dialogue. You're there for the kills. But I couldn't really see any of the kills, so this movie fucking sucks.
Number 9.
At number 9, Slingshot. I don't know what's worse, Event Horizon or this. This is just boring, uninteresting, with terrible characters and a dark plot, like dark twist plot in the movie that just is make you question of like, wait, why would you do this type of deal? It's like, why just why? Which that's why I asked this question to this movie, is like just why do you exist?
Number 8.
At number 8, Madam Web. A lot of people would probably think that Madam Web should be higher on this list. Believe me, I've seen a lot more movies this year, and there's a lot more terrible movies than Madam Web. And this movie sucks. This movie is really fucking bad. That's why it's on the list. Like, from the costumes, from the fucking acting, the action, the cinematography, the fucking the directing is everything about this movie is bad, and you guys have heard it all. But the only positive thing about this movie is that when you watch it with friends, it becomes a guilty, laughable pleasure. Any other movies on this list after like starting from now, there is nothing laughable about this movie. The only is
Number 7.
number 7, Miller's Girl. This is a fanfic film of someone being, I don't know, having a kink for teachers and students getting together. This movie is just, for one, messed up, and two, not interesting at all. And it's trying to be, it thinks it's really clever, but really it's not.
Number 6.
You know, a lot of great horror films came out in 2024, but a lot of bad horror films came out. And Tarot is definitely one of those generic ass fucking horror films that's like, hey, you know, all those other horror films, we should take, you know, an cliche idea and just make it even more cliche. I can't speak anymore. I see a lot of people talking about how the elevator scene in this movie is fucking terrifying. It's not. This movie is just not scary. It's fucking predictable. It's predictable. It's cliche. It doesn't deserve to exist.
Number 5.
Sometimes things should stay as short films because they just do work better as a short film. And when you try to drag something out that isn't meant to be a 90-minute film, yeah, you're gonna have some fucking issues in your movie. This Night Swim, I don't know who thought this was a good idea.
Number 4.
Imaginary, a movie where you have your imaginary friends who come to life and they start to kill you. But this movie doesn't have any imagination.
Number 3.
Afraid. Something I fucking wasn't while watching this movie. This movie tried to set up a universe without any little effort. Like, this movie was really bad, uninteresting characters. Everyone in this movie are just idiots, and the things that they focus on just don't make sense. People are so dumb in this movie that they believe a obvious AI sex video that was one of the main characters in this movie. Like, that's how dumb characters are in this movie.
Number 2.
And number 2, The Book of Clancy. This is a movie review that I got hated on. Probably the most backlash I got on a review. This movie is just terrible. It's not funny. The characters are terrible people. And I understand it's a parody of the Bible, but it's just like, it's not a funny parody. Like, the main lead, they try to portray him as like Jesus, but really he's the opposite. He's like the most worst, terrible person ever. Like, when even he comes to his realization, like, hey, probably stealing from poor people is not cool. I'm going to give money back to the people, but I'm going to keep stealing from them. I'm just going to lie that I'm this God who can do all these things, but really I can't. And there's a raid party in this movie, and there's rapping. How is there?
Number 1.
And here we are, finally, at our number 1. This is a movie I really was about to walk out on. I hate this movie so fucking much that it pisses me off to think about it. Like, I want to forget about this movie, but this movie, it stayed in my head. From the moment I watched it, this was like the worst movie I've seen of all year. And that's Pool Man, starring Chris Pine, directed by Chris Pine, written by Chris Pine, who's a fantastic actor, but a terrible writer. What the fuck? To be fair, his directing wasn't really awful, but this movie was just fucking terrible. It was not fucking funny. It was a fucking slog to get through, and it was uninteresting. It's about some pool guy who gets mixed up in some scandal that, and the twist of the whole entire movie is like, this was our plan all along, from the as the villain. And it's like, wait, your plan was to get caught? Wait, what was your plan? It didn't fucking make any fucking sense. I lost brain cells while watching this movie. I'm losing brain cells right now by just thinking about it. This could have been some fun. This could have been some dumb fun movie like, Age Frontier or something on that level. But this is just a painful fucking movie, and it deserves to be the number one worst movie of 2024. At least my number one, because I don't think anyone else fucking saw this movie. I think I'm the only one, at least on the internet, that saw this movie. Like, holy this. Well, that's my top 10, top 15 worst movies of 2024. Hopefully, you guys liked my list. Like I said at the beginning of the review, I do have full reviews on these movies that you can find on the channel. I'll leave links in the description. Once again, thank you for watching these videos this year. This was a fantastic year. Great year for the channel. Really liked how well the channel did this year, and it's all to you guys. And I love reading your guys' comments and seeing that you guys enjoy the reviews and you do like to see me sometimes lose my fucking brain cells and go fucking nuts on terrible fucking movies. But hey, that's just kind of part of the job. But yeah, can't wait to see what 2025 holds for good movies and bad movies. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Like always, I'll see you guys in the next review. Bye, guys.